back, everybody, to the Shambam Podcast, episode 110. Really late on this one. I said I wasn't going to skip more than 2 weeks, and I meant it. Up until I actually did end up skipping it. And then I was going to record it yesterday. That didn't end up working out. Today, it's kind of late. It's a Wednesday night, and I'm committed to getting this episode out today and still post another one this coming Monday. So on the, what is it? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, the 20th? It's Monday the 20th? I think so. But anyway, welcome back. Thanks for joining. Hope you're having a wonderful day, wonderful night, whatever time it is that you're listening to this. This week's episode is business. We're going to be talking more on the business side of stuff, music career, podcast, other kind of professional stuff, self-help. I kind of have this be more like a serious, semi-serious, more professional kind of discussion, more educated. And yeah, let's jump right on to it. I'm going to talk, we're going to cover a couple things. First, I want to fill you guys in on the project I'm working on, the song I'm currently working on. I also want to talk about like some personal development stuff, setting a schedule, seeing, allocating time appropriately and being realistic with your time. And yeah, I think that kind of covers a little gist of what to expect today. So anyway, I do want to point out that I very effectively used Michael Reeves in my title as clickbait. I didn't know that it was just going to be effective enough just to have his name, no picture or anything, just his name in the title. I don't have any like tags or anything on the podcast, nor on the videos. I just kind of put them out there, and my existing listeners, like you guys just see it. If you have, and I'll say it right now, don't forget to hit the bell. Subscribe if you haven't already, and then hit the bell notification so you're actually notified every time I upload, so you don't miss an episode. It's very rare. It's only, twice a month that I upload. So, I mean, at least. So, at best 4 times. So yeah, go ahead and do that. Leave a like too if you guys enjoy it. Helps get the word out, because honestly, the best way for this channel and this podcast actually to grow channel, I'm going YouTuber mode. Did you hear that? I'm straight up thinking back to my YouTuber days. The only way, or the best way, actually the only way I have right now for this podcast to grow is through you guys. So if you're listening right now, show some love, give it a like, talk to your buddies, share the message, share the word, share the pod. Anyway, yeah, I don't have any like tags or anything that I put. I used to actually in the beginning on Podbean, the site that I go with to upload the pod. I used to actually use tags every time I uploaded, but I noticed that they didn't really do anything in terms of the interactivity. As far as I could tell, I even did keyword research to make sure I was using like some pretty hot topics, I guess, to make sure that I was getting the best kind of tags possible on there, the best keywords, but it didn't end up working out. I don't know if I was just doing it incorrectly, or maybe the tool that Podbean has to put those, what are they called? Are they called tags? Yeah, they're called tags. To put those tags on there, if it's just not that great. But I haven't even tried on YouTube. I don't remember I don't think I ever did. So, but regardless, last episode got some traction, so that was pretty exciting to see. And I think it was just the effective use of Michael Reeves in the title. I won't do that all the time. It was just kind of a fun little thing to notice, and I achieved it. I have used him, and he has no idea who I am. Anyway, I want to talk about time management. A little thing that's kind of helped me as of late to actually get things done and have the days that I want. I've kind of hit that point where I was hitting better days. So let me fill you in a little bit. So my days, like a lot of us are, or maybe I'm still journeying through this. My day wasn't ever something I planned out. Right. So I would just wake up, I would do the usual, go to work, come home, play video games a lot because I'm trying to have fun, enjoy my free time. It's my part-time job, as I tell everybody, is my part-time job is to have fun. And that's what I did. And anything else gave me anxiety. If I started doing something else, I've wanted to read books, you know. I want to catch up on some shows too, even though that's not really productive. Sorry, every time Milo leans on the door, sometimes, not every time, sometimes it sounds like someone's knocking. So I don't know if Courtney was trying to get my attention. But yeah, I would wake up, you know. So yeah, going back, sorry. I just lost my train of thought. And my days would just never end up being productive, and then I would go to bed like with that mood that I didn't really get anything done. So what I have been trying to do is actually set a schedule for myself as to what I want to achieve on that day. And I'm holding this and I'm talking like I've put a lot. It's not a lot. So right now, so I'm still building it. The first thing I just wanted to prioritize is I'm really bad at school. And I mean in the sense of like just getting things done. I'm a really great procrastinator. And if I don't keep myself in check, I won't get things done. Also, you know, with anxiety and stuff, it just kind of heightens that and makes it harder to work. But I set a schedule and divided the weeks as they come, all the assignments I have to get done for school, into manageable portions throughout the week so I don't overwork and I also don't underwork, you know? Because sometimes I did notice that I would have like this rush of like motivation to get stuff done some days. And I would just like go to work, I'd come home, and then I'd just start working on everything, you know, maybe cleaning the house a little bit, but like sometimes just doing a ton of homework. And then I wouldn't pace myself, so I would burn out. And then that'd be like a Monday or a Tuesday, so the rest of the week was just burnt out Kev trying to hang on. So I didn't like that, and I knew even then that part of the reason why I was behaving that way and burning out, you know, was because I didn't have a proper schedule. So I've been doing that. This is week 4, I think. So first month of actually following a schedule. I've been diving out of it a little bit because, you know, I'm getting used to it. But for the most part, I've been pretty consistent with it. And let me tell you, it's worked wonders. I've been doing really good in all my classes right now. I'm not taking that many, but it's a definite improvement from how I used to work in school. I think it might have something to do with that I care more now, because back then I just wasn't sure what I was doing in terms of like majoring or anything like that. So maybe that played a little role. But anyway, regardless, schedules, you hear it everywhere. So having a schedule is a good thing to actually plan out the day that you want. I'm gonna next try to fit in actual creative works that I'm trying to do. So allocate some time for music production, allocate some time for reading. I've been trying to make a habit of reading at least 2 minutes every day. I said like 10 minutes last time or something like that. 2 minutes, I was trying to graduate, you know, not be a tyrant and give myself something crazy in the beginning. So 2 minutes, it hasn't really been great working on that. Working on a lot of things, and I'm slowly inching my way up there. But yeah, I'm gonna try to fit in some time for all the other stuff. Also practicing guitar. I have a ton of guitars in here, and you've probably seen them throughout in the videos. I mean, there's one right there. I don't know if that's in frame, but anyway, I don't really practice too much because I always just try to have fun, right? And then practice sometimes, most of the time for me, isn't really necessarily fun, so I don't end up doing it. I used to practice way more back in the day, but it's probably because we had less. So that was my fun, you know. Anyway, and I want to talk a little bit too. I mean, still on the topic of time management. I work full time right now. And then I was going to school, and schooling isn't really intended at, you know, it's not the full-time job and college don't really mix well. So I took these classes and I was doing good, but I noticed that I had no time for a couple days. I had no time to do anything else. In the beginning, it was manageable. I still had a couple hours in the day by the time I was done with everything. But then come week 3, and I literally had no time even to touch one of my classes. So I made the executive decision to drop it. I don't like dropping classes. It sucks, but you got to do what you got to do. It might have been better on my part to strategize it a little more to figure out exactly what I can handle. But I hadn't really taken a lot of classes, or more than one actually, since I started a full-time job. It kind of slow on that front, but I wanted to take it, what's the phrase? Take the bull by the horns. And I just wanted to get it done. So I got a little courageous. I got a little reckless, and yeah. So I ended up making the decision to drop it. Didn't want to, but I did because I wanted to make sure I actually had more time to do the other things in my life that I do want to get done as well. So working on music and actually producing good songs. That's the main thing. I want to actually allocate a good amount of time every day for that. So anyway, I still have yet to do that. So far, what it's been is I've just been coming home, checking off the list of things I got to do, and then just playing. Quite frankly, that's what I'm doing. Transparency, man. Trying to be as honest as I can. But yeah, I'm gonna slowly actually start now, putting in the other things that I need to get done. Maybe things get a little crazy in the house. Gotta take care of those things. Allocate some time for this. But anyway, I would strongly recommend, if you haven't already, at least try to get some sort of schedule in your life. At least try to plan out one day. I think I started, the way I started trying to introduce any kind of scheduled pattern was with a time slot of productivity that I would give myself on the daily. So I'd be like, okay, I gotta time slots. It's like I come home, I chill for an hour, so that's playing games or whatever, and then I get productive for 2. And then I play for another hour and then get productive for 2. And that kind of worked in the beginning for the first 2 or 3 days, but it didn't really end up working out because I just feel like you can't really allocate it like that, because then it becomes too routine, too predictable. Maybe I'm not too sure about the science, so I probably shouldn't try to dissect it right now, because I'm not going to come up with any kind of reasonable conclusion or anything that makes any kind of sense. I think I'm going to waste a lot of time just trying to dissect that. But yeah, that's one thing I really wanted to talk about in this business pod, this more I don't know what I'm going to call these, because it's not really business. We just talk about more other things rather than just the mind vomit that usually occurs in my head. I actually have a lot of notes written down here too, so I'm trying to see what we got here. Oh yeah, so let's dive in and talk a little bit about the song. So yeah, I believe it was episode 107 when I said I was going to release the song that week or that weekend. That was quite a while ago now. It happens all the time, I go in, I start working, it starts sounding really good, but then I feel like I'm missing things, and usually I just end up tweaking it. I thought I was being a little more conservative with the way I was mixing the song. I don't know what I'm really doing. I think I am mixing it because I'm messing with the EQs, maybe a little sound design action going on, because I try to change the sound's characteristics. Sometimes I want my pads to come out in the background more. What I've been noticing a lot though is I have a very hard time with my levels in the beginning of every track. I always start them out like right up front, and I think it's because I like the way they sound when when I'm laying them down. You know what I'm saying? So like my workflow as of right now is either I'll start with drum beat or I will start with some ambiance, some like pads or something, and I feel like when I lay down the drum beat, I'm like, yeah, that's a punchy drum set, you know, like I like the way it sounds. It's up front, right? And I don't push it back. I don't know why. And then I put the pads down and I'm like, yeah, that sounds good together. But I think both of those elements being up front, like there's only so much space to put up front in a song before it gets super messy. So you have to back things out. But the problem I've been having is because I started understanding that concept, right? I got to back it up, let the song breathe, let the elements have their places. But I've been struggling with getting the right EQ, the right frequencies for each of the instruments to pop, for them to sound, to be in their own place, I guess, if that makes any sense. So like struggling finding out what frequencies to cut on different instruments to let the other ones pop up, which ones to back out, you know, bring the gain down to pull them back, and which ones to push forward. Because like if I push, what I've been noticing is if I pull things back, they kind of get lost altogether by everything that's up front. So maybe I just need to pull more back. And I feel like what happens is I start pulling something back and then I lose it, and then I get scared like, oh crap, I'm killing the song already. So then I'll push it forward a little bit, you know, and then it's kind of back to where it was. But I still need to play around with that. Long story short, with that song, I've kind of butchered it a little bit. I will say though, I will say that it did get a little better. So like I did get a little better on my approach on how whenever I'm editing it. So I still think it sounds better than the other song in terms of the production of it, the producing and the mixing. But it's still like not where I want it, and I need to work on that. I think I also need to work on my stereo, knowing what to pan where and what to turn stereo and what to make mono. Yeah, just a lot to learn. A lot of guides I've been trying to look up. A lot of stuff, but then it's really difficult to listen to like guides and how they make things and then not make it the way they are explained. You know what I'm saying? Because then you get the whatever that they're working on in your head. So then when you go in to make something, it just leaves. But I think what you got to do, I mean, whenever you go to make something, you're just copying and pasting what they did onto your DAW. But I think what I got to work on is just do that for the practice, you know? So just create a session that's just going to be a study, like a classroom, and then just follow along, you know, try to get as close as possible as I can to that. Courtney was telling me that I should try to make like some cover music too, which I've thought about because I don't have to do any of the work of the arranging, or well, I guess in a sense I do, you know, but like I don't have to get stupid creative with it because I'm just ripping a song basically and just putting my own flair to it. But I think I've been a little intimidated. You know why I think I've been intimidated by that? I think it's because I'm pretty sure that I'm not even at that level of expertise to make that, you know? I think because I've been falling... I'm finding so much out about myself right now. It's crazy. I think I've been falling into the excuse that the reason that I can't or haven't been making songs that I like or songs that I think are good is because I struggle maybe with the creative element of it too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like kind of compounding the two, saying, hey, I am a very amateur producer and I don't really know theory, so I'm just kind of battling two different titans here. But then if I go and do a cover song, I'm kind of stripping out the whole music theory stuff because the song's already made. I just need to use production magic to get it to make it, you know? I might be completely wrong. I am an amateur, so I haven't made a cover song, so I don't really know exactly what it entails. Maybe I just really downplayed the difficulty of it, but regardless, I feel like that might be why I kind of dodge it too, because I'm like, no, because then if I make one and it does sound crap, it's like, dude, you even had the theory down. Sorry, I'm looking at my watch. It gives me notifications, lets me know what's happening, man. So yeah, or maybe it's just because I have noticed that I really like working on stuff. I really like creating things myself. Even with like the album covers that I've made for the 2 releases that I've done, I don't like ripping things from other existing stuff, you know? So like the first one from Neon Skies, that was like a GIF that I found, and I was being more loose with it because I just wanted some sort of like visual for the song when I posted it. So I wasn't really going into it like thinking, okay, I got to make artwork. I was just like, I just want a visual. So then I went to like an app, video editing app, and then I found like a GIF, and then it was like the little anime character that's on there, like just looping, and then I kind of then got a little creative with it, with like the background color and the text and all that. But then the other one for Jaws, I actually drew that. It was very simple. It's 3rd grade art, but I drew it myself because I was like really wanting to make art myself. I really wanted to create that, and I really like talking about. We've talked about this a little bit, that I just really like design. I like designing stuff like the logos for the podcast and yeah, the cover art for my songs. So. And I think that translates to my music, and the reason why I don't want to, or I'm not very inclined to make cover music right now, is because I just really want to make my own stuff. And that runs in the family. I've recognized this same pattern in my own family, so I know that this is a thing. I know that it is a thing that I have. So, which is, it's all good in my eyes. Because yeah, I want to make my own stuff. I want to start making good music. I've been listening to a lot of music recently that's much simpler and just sounds so good. So I feel like I do overkill a lot with the instruments. And then since they're all forward, it just blurs everything together. So I just got to practice on, or work on, just trying to simplify things, trying to pull things back, admire some silence. Yeah, it's really hard though when if you start working on a song like and then everything's up front and that's all you can hear it as because you've worked on it for so long. So anything else will sound different, you know? Because I feel like once you start listening to it, regardless of it being very muddy or everything up front, you kind of chase what you're hearing, you know? So like if I'm working on it, on the song, and I hear these elements come together, almost that muddiness is like it's introducing this different aspect of the song that you then find, you hear it and you're like, oh, I can hear this going this way and stuff, but you're drawing inspiration from the crap, so it will lead you nowhere because the more you mess with it, the more crappy it's gonna get. So I feel like that's like the ultimate struggle I'm dealing with right now, is just making sure I don't get inspired by crap. So that's my goal. I'm working on another song. I've got 2 other songs that I'm kind of tiptoeing with. They're in the beginning stages of life right now, because I have to take a break from that one because I don't know if I'm going to be able to publish it anymore. release it because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish it because I can't, But I think I will. I think I will. I won't put anything on it though because I don't want to jinx it or anything. I'm just moving on. I'm putting a pin on it. I'm working on some other stuff. I just actually got done working on an idea for a different song today, and I'm kind of liking it. Stupid me though, because I had a guitar riff, so I played it on the guitar. I laid it down, and I was like, I had this awesome sounding melody for it that I was like singing along. I wasn't recording my voice, so I was just laying down the guitar. I was like singing along and I was like sick, but then I got so mixed up in the I was just having fun with the audio track. I was putting some effects on there, like reversed it and stuff, and I had too much fun, and then I forgot the freaking melody. Rule of thumb, people, at the very least, if you get an idea, especially or just if you get an idea, lay it all down. So if I should have recorded me playing the guitar and singing this idea on my phone at the very least. Just it's as simple as putting it down, hitting record, and just playing it, so I can just have it there. But I didn't, so now I forgot it, and I kind of remembered where it was at. So I laid that down as soon as I figured it out. But I was so pissed. I was like, crap, I can't believe. I'm hoping that it's like lingering in there and I just can't think about it today. But like when I work on it, like tomorrow, it'll come back to me. That's my hope, at least. But yeah, so that sucks. I'm liking I'm liking where it's going. It needs a lot of work, but I'm liking where it's going. I'm also playing around with a different type of drum work, so I'm not using a drum machine this time. I'm trying to just use the samples. I notice a lot of people, especially on Ableton, a lot of producers, they don't even use the drum machine. They just grab the sample straight from their library and just put it into the what is it called? The arrangement view. Yeah. Which I've seen it done, I remember in the beginning, but then I was like, I'm just gonna use freaking drum machine. But I think it's to get a more it honestly does sound like it hits harder. I don't know what it is. I don't know why drum machine like really muffles things. I'm not exactly sure why, but like, yeah, I've noticed that when I work with my drum samples straight from the library into an audio track, they just hit harder. The drums just hit harder. So if you didn't know that, that's something to think about. Try it out in your next project. But yeah. So that's where we are with the music. The way things are going now, it's really gotten me thinking about like options. These are uncertain times, my friends. We all know this. This is not news, but uncertain times, things are just getting crazy. So then I was thinking, like, what would be the best scenario right now? One of the better scenarios is if I could sustain myself by myself, right? And by myself, I mean like my family and everybody involved in my life. So if I can sustain me and my family by myself without requiring a boss, right? That is the best case scenario. Obviously, that's the American dream. I'm being a bit arrogant here, aren't I? But yeah, I feel like you just got to keep working on it. Just got to keep working on it. And I got all the tools here. I got all the tools to make something of myself. So I'm really trying to hone my skill so I can be formidable in this and be a force to be reckoned with, and people enjoy my music, and then hopefully that leads me to bigger and brighter opportunities down the road. But anyway, with that said, I'm not concluding yet, or am I? It might be a short episode. Oh, there is a timer. Okay. What else do I have on here? I guess I didn't have a lot because I just fly right through these. I've been working on that too, just writing down the notes as I get them, the ideas as I get them on paper, because I when I pull out my phone, for some reason it just takes time to go to the notes and then start typing, and then I make typos and I have to backspace. But yeah, so that's what we're doing right now. Holding off on that one song that I was working on 2 more. And at the end of the day, it's never wasted time, you know. Regardless if I ever never post that song or I do, it's not wasted time. It's practice. It's applying what I know and just playing around and learning, you know. So yeah, I've come to realize, or I've come to, and I'm glad I did. I've come to like really accept that part of it, right? So like failure is part of the process. Everyone sucks in the beginning, and you can only get good if you just keep trying, and you keep learning, and you keep applying. So it's never wasted time. You just got to do what you got to do. But I have been interested in, I have never been a guest. Okay, I've never been a guest in a podcast before. I've only ever been the host of a podcast, and I actually do want to guest in somebody else's podcast. Now, I'm really bad at finding podcasts, like new ones and stuff, because I can shoot my shot with like some bigger ones that are easier to find, right? But I don't know if I even bring anything to the table where they just say yes, you know. So I really want to see what the landscape, what's the podcast landscape looking like for all of us new guys in the industry. I guess I'm not necessarily. Is this podcast considered new? Is 3 years new in this world? I'm not too sure. I think the podcast has actually been going on for more than 3 years, possibly a little over, maybe. I don't know. I forget. But if you guys have any podcasts, smaller podcasts that you listen to, hit me up, send me a comment, put a comment on the YouTube channel, on the video if you're watching on YouTube, or send me a DM on Instagram, or wherever you can message me from. Go ahead and do that. Send me a list of some podcasts that you listen to, maybe smaller ones. That'd be cool. We can like build this network together from the ground up, all of us earthworms. That'd be a really cool experience. I've always been the host. I've been inviting a lot of people onto this show, which has been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun, mainly for me. But since I did end up slowing down the podcast a little bit, giving myself time to breathe, time to think, I wanted to I just wanted to make sure I was just like figuring things out, you know. So that's why I kind of took that time to just kind of back off, take a step back, look at it from a third person perspective, and then see the direction that I wanted to go with. But anyway, I can feel myself dwindling. I'm just completely deprived of comments now. So I got all the stuff I wanted to talk about out. That sounds like, wow, see, this is what happens when I don't have caffeine and it's like a middle of the week at night. It sounded like I was doing a chore or something. I've been really interested in talking about these topics, and I really didn't want to put more than a week in between the episodes, which I already did. but I wanted to make sure I got it out this week. So anyway, we're going to conclude this week's episode here. Another nice short episode of the podcast. Let me know what you think of the podcast. What can change? What do you think the structure should be like? Do you have any insights? I think I'm moving the camera every time I hit the table, so that's probably highly annoying. Sorry about that. But yeah, leave anything on the comments that you would like me to look up, maybe some topics you want me to talk about. Just say hi, whatever. Don't forget to share the podcast with your friends and family. You guys are going to be my upbringing. So it's up to you whether I soar in the skies or not. Without further ado, I'm going to conclude it here. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you next time.